Hi everyone, Paul Schmidt. This week we're going to be talking about coastal ecology. This particular picture is of a seal pup that we came across a few years ago when we were hiking along the Washington state coast. You can see all the driftwood, logs, other debris in there, and then we came across this seal pup. It was up there. We were surprised to see it as it was of us. Beautiful area though. So coastal ecology, we're going to be talking about ecosystems, disturbances, food chains, food webs, concept of keystone species, importance of those. This particular example of coastal ecology, where the starfish is highlighted, is used in many biology and ecology classes. A very simple but effective example of what keystone species means. Another keystone species that we'll be looking at is the sea otter and what types of threats it's facing, the kelp forests, which it depends on. This particular video highlights a project out there which is helping to restore those kelp forests. A little bit here on how different ecosystems interact. Our nation's symbol there, the bald eagle, is very much connected to coastal ecosystems, certain areas, and this is an interesting article on how the eagle is part of those marine food webs and what scientists have actually learned. This is, you're going to be reading the executive summaries of an EPA report which goes over the quality of the waters, the contaminants that they discovered in taking tissue samples from local fish, the coastal habitat, etc. Interesting information presented there. This is a real-world example of a restoration project that's taking place Santa Cruz Island. They brought back, reintroduced a fox which had long been absent from that ecosystem, and the good news is it was successful, and they saw the benefits which that ecosystem, island ecosystem, enjoyed after that fox was returned. This is also quite eye-opening. Anyone who knows the size of Manhattan, Times Square, you know just how many buildings and how many people are packed onto that island. This scientist actually made an effort to recreate what the island of Manhattan might have looked like before it was settled. Dr. Sanderson gives a great presentation, actually a TED presentation, which I'm sure anyone and everyone who's seen those, you'll know it's top quality. It's very enjoyable. And then of course we have the readings, which are also the links, and the PDFs are included in the folder for this week. Something else real quick, just wanted to speak about was krill. And everyone's most likely familiar with krill. This is a page put up by NOAA talking about krill, explaining what it is, why should we care about it, etc. Most of us understand krill's a vital part of the marine environment in the cooler waters. Whales depend on it, seals, penguins, and the other animals that are part of those ecosystems. What we might not understand is that in other countries of the world, krill is actually canned and put on the shelves of grocery stores. And that's an interesting point. It opens our eyes to the fact that krill have that added pressure. It's not just the marine creatures that are going after it, but also it's a staple of some societies' diets. What I think is particularly interesting is that now in the United States we're starting to see increased advertisement for krill as another source of omega-3. And the krill oil they're marketing much like the fish oil as being having its health benefits of promising all sorts of different benefits for our well-being. This is a website for herbal remedies, and some of the things they list on here for the krill oil is better concentration and memory, aids in keeping joints healthy, decreases the signs of aging, etc., etc., etc. So they're pretty much promising everything for the krill oil, even though it hasn't been available and most likely hasn't been tested to actually confirm most of this. But I think it's worth for us as individuals. This is a video off of YouTube, nicely done, just showing krill up and close. I think it's important for us as coastal policy specialists, possibly contributors in the future, to understand the potential impact from human consumption in the form or human consumption of krill as an herbal remedy or a natural remedy, a source of that omega-3. It's right now we do hear things from time to time about how much pressure is on the krill, but this might really overwhelm the populations. Again, it hasn't happened yet. I'm just saying it's something very interesting and something that we should be aware of for the future. Anyway, this is a nice video that's on YouTube. So that's what we're doing this week, coastal ecology. It's going to be a quick overview for some of you that are already familiar with the ecology of the coastlines. And hopefully for others it'll open your eyes to this particular aspect of coastal policy which some may not fully appreciate and factor in to their overall image of what coastal politics involves. So I hope everyone has a good week.